And there's a lot of other similarities, I guess you'd say, between what we experience. Because you were talking with the shadows. I see stuff moving around me all the time. There are lots of times I feel like I'm not alone. When I'm, like right now, I'm completely alone in my house. I don't feel like there's anyone here, but there are times when I'm completely alone and it feels like there's someone standing beside me. Or someone standing in my hallway. As I've said, I'm up later than everyone. I am always the last person awake. And there are nights that I'm sitting in here and I'm watching people walk through our hallway. And this is when no one else in the house is awake. And then there are times that I'm sitting here, we're all in the living room, all of us are sitting together, we're watching TV, there's 3 or 4 other people in here besides me, and I'm watching something walk through our hallway. And I'm sitting there with 3 or 4 other people, watching them watch TV or play on their tablets or their iPods or whatever. And I'm like, am I the only one seeing this? Really? There's, because you kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, it kind of makes you feel a little bit crazy. Because you're sitting there and you're seeing this and you're going, I can't be the only one seeing this. Yet no one else is reacting to it. No one else is even looking over or glancing. Yet here I am sitting there and I can see someone walk from our stairs to where our bathroom is. And I see stuff moving around in my kitchen all the time. I have one of the kids will be sitting right beside me, or my wife will. And I'm seeing stuff move back and forth in our kitchen. And they don't see it. Occasionally my dog does. There's been a few occasions where my dog reacts to it. He will either get down and go sniffing around, or there's been a couple of times he's growled just out of nowhere. He'll start growling and sniffing because he's a little ankle biter, but he lets you know if there's anybody near this house, or a dog or a squirrel or a cat or a bird or anything else, because that's what little dogs do.
And it's funny you mentioned dogs, because I see a dog in the house. We have a pet bunny, and I know I've mentioned the bunny on my episodes more than once because she's a little criminal when she's out of her cage, and she's sweet anyway, but she likes to get into trouble. So when she's out, I have to keep her out of stuff. But when she's in the cage, she'll be laying there doing whatever, and I'll see something move. And for the longest time, I thought it was a little black dog. It was about the size of a little dog. And then, I'd even tell my roommate, I said, I see this little dog moving around. I don't always see him. Out of the corner of my eye, I'll see him move, or I'll expect to open the door and see him sitting there. And I've even heard scratches on the door, like the dog scratching on the door, and I know there's no dog there. We don't have a dog. So I know that there's that, and I've seen human shadows even moving outside of our apartment, like in the courtyard in daylight. I'll see them walking in front of the window, and I'm sitting here thinking, am I going crazy? Am I seeing this, or am I having delusions, or am I really? I mean, you get to a point with all this stuff and these crazy ass dreams and these shadows and all this sounds and all this stuff that you get, and you wonder if have you gone crazy?
Yeah, you question your own sanity at some point, because it's like, it's like I said, you're sitting there and you're seeing this stuff going on around you, and especially if you have other people in the room and you're like, nobody's reacting to this. So it kind of goes, if I'm the only one seeing it, then it can't really be happening. And really that kind of brings me to the question that I've always had in experiencing this kind of stuff and my history with the wreck. And do you ever really fully come back? Is maybe the veil between the sides, or the 2 different planes of existence, or whatever you want to call it, maybe once you've been on the other side of the curtain, you always know what's there. I mean, let's face it, once the wizard was exposed in Oz, we all knew he was just an old man with a fog machine. And is that what we're running into here?
I mean, I don't know if when I came back from whatever it was, they said I was coded. And hospital parlance, when they say you're coded, that means you have no pulse and, you're not breathing. They code blue. It's the same thing as being coded. That's what it means. When they say you coded on the table, means that they had to do some kind of resuscitation to get you back again. And ever since I coded on the table there, I've had these things happen. Well, maybe when I come back, I didn't come back the same as when I left. I may have come back more aware and more acutely aware of things, or maybe I didn't come back completely me, or I don't know. I don't, I'm not smart enough, I don't think, to know. But all I know is that it's different than it was before. And, it's just something I've come to accept. I don't really fight with it. It just happens. I can't plan it. It doesn't happen every day. The insomnia thing is pretty much a daily thing, but the other stuff...
Yeah, that's a constant.
Yeah, the other stuff, it kind of comes and goes with the territory. So that's kind of where we're at with that with me.
And that's what we're putting this video out for. We would love to hear your experiences. Have you ever had something like this happen? God forbid. That's something that I would not wish anyone to have. But if it has, did you start experiencing things differently? Did things seem different for you? Do you have this kind of reaction? Do you feel things around you? Do you see things that other people don't? Like I said, you start kind of judging your own sanity, because you're sitting there and you're looking again, and it's like, am I crazy? I'm the only one seeing this. No one else is reacting to it. And when you're in a room with people and you're seeing things that no one else is, and you're hearing things that no one else seems to be hearing, it makes you question yourself. So if you've had any experiences like this, comments down in the box below. Find us on Twitter. It's all linked on our page. And let us know. If you have something you would like to input, you can always, maybe record it and tag us in it. And we'll, we can include your name or your link in a future video. I'm looking at the time right now, and this is probably going to be a 3-parter. So, if you have something after part 1 or part 2, bring it out. Let us know. And anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think we covered it pretty good. I know we had some things that were separate, and we had some things that were similar. So, you said, if you have comments or an idea or suggestion, we'd love to hear it.
Right then. Until next time, this is the Dark Druid, Joel Walling, with me once again, the Lightseeker, Michael Smith, and we'll see you again soon.